We see strong and free from far and wide open. We stand on Lord for thee. God, we are glorious and free. Stand on Lord for thee. Lord for thee.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your patience. This is very unusual, but we know that technology likes to rear its head from time to time. So thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. And our panelists, we cannot thank you all enough. So Lady Tony, Lady Sade, Lady Ineka, and Lady Larry, thank you so much for the time that you're spending with us. So before we delve into what we'll really talk about today, we're going to be talking about women elevating women. But before we, go ahead and have a deeper dive into seeing what we'll do today, we have a few things that we have to go through. So first of all, with land acknowledgement, I would like to call on a long-time volunteer with CNP. His name is Oriofe Oruwa Dimeji. He'll be reading the land acknowledgement in English.
Thank you. In the spirit and the intent of the Truth and Reconciliations Commission's recommendations, we acknowledge the traditional indigenous territories on which we gather at the beginning of all stamping meetings. By learning, understanding, and acknowledging, we wish to pay respect to Turtle Island, Mother Earth, and to the rich indigenous history of Ontario. We recognize that our work takes place on traditional indigenous territories across Ontario. We also wish to acknowledge that CNP head office is located on traditional indigenous territory of Hirnwenda, Haudenosaunee, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. This territory is the part of the District 1 Spoon Treaty, and it gave between the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Island Nations to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. This territory is also covered by the Upper Canada Treaties. We wish to express gratitude to Mother Earth and for the resources we are using, and honor all the First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people who have been living on the land since time immemorial. Thank you.
Thank you, Oriofe. So to read the land acknowledgement in French, we will be calling another long-standing volunteer of CNP, Oshoboge Idode.
Merci. Dans l'esprit et l'intention des recommandations de la Commission de vérité et réconciliation, nous reconnaissons les territoires autochtones traditionnels sur lesquels nous nous réunissons au début de toute la réunion du CNP. En apprenant, en comprenant et en reconnaissant, nous souhaitons rendre hommage à Turtle Island, Telma et à la riche histoire autochtone de l'Ontario. Nous reconnaissons que nos travaux se tiennent sur les territoires autochtones traditionnels de l'Ontario. Nous tenons également à souligner que le siège social de CNP est situé sur le territoire autochtone traditionnel des Huron-Wendat, des Haudenosaunee et plus. Just one spoon. Un accord entre les Anishinaabe, les Haudenosaunee et les nations alliées, et ce pour partager et entretenir pacifiquement les ressources autour des Grands Lacs. Ce territoire est également couvert par les traités de Haut-Canada. Nous souhaitons exprimer notre gratitude à la Terre-Mère et honorer tous les peuples de Premières Nations, Métis et Inuits qui vivent sur la Terre depuis des temps immémoriaux. Merci.
Merci, merci, Yoshoboge. Merci. So thank you, everyone. Like you know, today's event is also a breakout of the International Women's Day, which we held on March 8th internationally. And the people that you see here are very renowned ladies, outstanding women who are setting pace, who are breaking glass ceilings. We have the honor to have them here and engage in very intricate topics that are very important to better understanding how to elevate women. And not just how to elevate women, but how women can elevate other women. So before I let you go, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Danye Meshileya. I'm a human resources professional. I've been volunteering with CMP for over a year now, and I would say it's been amazing. CMP is the platform that CMP is providing is allowing professionals, new grads, youngsters, youths, so many programs. And you will find in the next slides all the programs and activities that CMP has lined up and is engaging in week after week. So in a bit, we will be introducing our panelists in more detail so you get to hear more about their profile, what they do, and then we will begin the discussion. And again, I have my co-moderator here, Kwange, who did a very amazing job keeping us organized when we had our issues with the technology. Thank you so much, Mr. Kwange.
Thank you, Dinya. Thank you so much. It's actually a pleasure. I think this is the first time we are actually moderating together. I've always seen you moderating and I'm always envious and like, oh, which one day I'll be like this lady. Okay, let's go to the next slide and talk about the CNP.
So before we talk about CNP, we've had activities that we've held before. During I think last week, we had strategies to purchase your first home. So you will find now in the chats, the link to the YouTube page where you can go and have a listen of the recording of that event, because it helps you to better understand the strategies, the information you need, so that you're better prepared. Buying a home it's a big deal. So you want to do it the right way. You want to get as much information as possible so that you avoidable mistakes, you can avoid them and be well informed as you make your purchase. The next slide, please. So we also had a couple of weeks back, let's talk about tax, personal and business. We had our tax professionals come and take us through a deeper knowledge dive of how to file your taxes. You need to know the best ways to take advantage of the programs that the government has in place already, both personal and business tax rebate options that are available there. So again, the link is available and it will be shared in the chat. So do copy those links and go back and have a look at the events. Next slide, please. So earlier this year, we had our 2 educators come and give us a better understanding of the Canadian school system. So the link is also available in the chat. You may have kids that are still in elementary school. Before they get into high school, it's good to have a good understanding of what are the things that you need to know. You may have young kids who are not yet in elementary school. This information are also available for you to have a better understanding of the elementary school system and how you can navigate it. That way you're able to provide the support that your children and wards need from you. Next slide, please. So, Mr. Fange.
Yes, so I'm just going to go through this fast because we're a bit behind in town. So we're just going to be talking about what CNP is all about. So the main vision of CNP is to equip our people of African heritage towards a sustainable growth, development, and prosperity within the Canadian environment that we find ourselves. We also do this through measurable goals. So CNP has some goals that they really want to go through and make sure these things are not just set, but they can be measurable. So what does CNP do, or what are some of the goals? They enhance leadership career and development, and they encourage business. They provide a lot of support to new immigrants and international students. You can definitely always refer to their website and you'll see all these things, cnpngo.ca. CNP also does a lot of training and provide information, career-oriented information, business-oriented information to its members. CNP arguably might be the only African organization in the GTA or the Toronto area that provides education to kids, especially kids of African descent, with a focus on kids between grades 2 and 12. As Dinya has already said, CNP has a lot of events, lots of seminars that provide information to help us understand the multicultural, multi-pluralistic, and the business environment that we live in. It also brings us closer to faith-based organization. Next slide. So some of the courses that CNP provides, some of the things that I've said, or some of those things that they want to measure if they're actually achieving it. They provide coding classes. I can tell you that we have people who are over 50 now doing coding, thanks to CNP, and they are doing it some with their kids. Why not next time some with their grandkids? Next slide. About community engagement, CNP has several events. There will be some events coming up. On March 25th, there will be an Elevating Entrepreneurial Idea event. It's basically a community event where we are going to come up as our own people and have a conversation. How do we encourage others to be entrepreneurs? How is the market space out there? How do we start businesses? How do we support those who are already in businesses? And how do we talk to those who have that experience? How do they transfer the knowledge? All these events and a list of other classes that CNP, language classes that CNP offers is on the chat. You can definitely go there and check them out. You want to learn French, you want to learn Yoruba, you want to learn Ido, you want to learn Igbo, and why not even conferences like the one we're having today? We're going to record this and make it accessible to our people. Next slide. One of the big in-person events that CNP is organizing this year is it's called the Black History Impact Celebration. We are going to have the keynote speaker, who is Justice Coffee. I'm going to tell you guys, this guy is so difficult to reach due to his schedule. CNP is making it possible that somebody who was born in Ghana and is a judge in this country will be available to those who are interested. Please make sure you register through Eventbrite. It's free, but the spaces are limited. So once we have a number of people that we want, we're not going to be taking more candidates. And lunch will be provided. So it's an interesting event for people to attend. There is an essay writing competition which is currently going on, and the CNP will be awarding the winners of that competition during this event. Next slide. I will now ask Dinya to run us through our agenda. Dinya.
Yeah, we have already covered about half of the agenda. So we will go to the next slide, please. I will be calling on Lady Abba herself to come talk to us about the sponsors of CNP and its events. Lady Yap.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, technology is not my problem. Is not my friend today. Still not. I'm speaking through my phone, but I'm looking at everybody to my laptop. But yes, CNP has been in the business of impacting lives since 2018. And yes, without some of these people, we won't be able to put our lights on. Some of our supporters are Black professional, Black people in tech, RBC Royal Bank, Canadian Race Relations. Next slide. And our partners, Procurement Canada. Have you thought about doing business with the government of Canada? It is a business of over 2 billion. So Procurement Canada will be having an event on the 8th of April, where they will walk us through how we can actually start doing that business. Windmill Microlending is a charitable organization that supports newcomers to Canada to get loans, to do their certification, to do exams, to be able to land and thrive in the country. Early Childhood Development Initiative supports us by educating us on all the things we need to know about the educational system in Canada. And we do have some of these events already in our YouTube channel. So please visit our YouTube channel to learn more about these programs. Next slide. And yes to small businesses. We've heard a lot of people say, I don't know small businesses in the community. We do have a registry of them on our website. So please visit them. JBKM is into radio and TV live. They do streaming. If you need support with whatever event you're doing, they are your person. Next slide. Yes, a great read. This is Lady Abba herself. Have you read Authenticity? It is on Amazon. Next slide. Casa Solution Lab, also a strong supporter of CNP. They also run several events. So please, all these people that you're seeing, all the flyers and businesses that you're going to be seeing, they are also on our registry, on our website. So if you need information about them, you can actually go there to get more. Next slide. Home Sweet Home, are you looking to get a mortgage? Jane Ecker has been a supporter of CNP for the past 5 years. So please reach out to her if you need that support. Next slide. Moffat, if you've been to our website, you will understand what I'm saying. He made the website. So you're looking to do website or anything technical, Moffat is your person. Next. SMTN, we love our food and we love our clothing. SMTN helps us to take stuff home and bring it back. Whether you want to send something to Canada, to US, they will support you. Next. Marriage Matters. You know, we have a lot of, shock when we get here. Our marriages are affected by a lot of things that we experience in Canada. But Coach Bose is able to help us to navigate the system. And maybe you have young people that are dating, want to get married. She will be able to support them. Next. Yemisi Alade Sua, you're looking to buy a home. People say it's difficult, but you know what? People are buying. So you want to buy, you want to learn some of the trades, some of the secrets, she will support you. Next. Scotiabank, another mortgage specialist with Scotiabank, Aishata is there to you. So the idea is to have options. So you have BMO, you have Scotiabank. Next slide. And this is a law firm. They're into immigration law, family law, and everything that you see there. If you need their support, you know how to get them. Next. C&G is into cybersecurity and anti-money laundering, forensic investigations. If you need them, please reach out to them. Next. Pixel Pixel. I don't know if you've seen any of my pictures or pictures of CNP for that matter. This is our professional in-house photographer. They will bring the best out of you. Next. Are you hungry for African Caribbean grocery? Lighthouse is the place to go. Next. SDA business, it's tax time. For personal, we need to do our taxes by April. SDA business can support you to do that. Next. GTA strategies. Are you in the business of inviting maybe thought leaders, politicians, to your events, GTA strategies are your go-to people. Next. Folac African Foods. This is a food store, food grocery in the Brampton market. Next. Rest Assured is into creating logos, hard promotional materials. They are your go-to if you need those services. Next. Another accounting services. So you see, we have, multiple types of business in our community. Take your pick. They are amazing people. You need to do your taxes, reach out to them. Next. Naski, another techie individual in our community, is into software development, IT, project management, asset management. Think about it. If you need them, they can guide you on what they do, because some of these things are actually great for me. Next. Are you thinking of buying our traditional clothing? Lolito Collection is your person. Next, please. Looking for MC? MCTJ will be your person. Next. Yes, we do a lot of things, but we also need to take care of our soul. House of David is a strong supporter of CMP. You don't have a home church? Visit them. Next. Looking to buy a car, brand new, used, second hand, third hand, fifth hand, Emmanuel Nobanjo can support you with the best. Next. Experior Financial Group. Adeyinka Awoyalu is a financial advisor that can support you with your mortgage, your life insurance, and many more. Next. And so if you would like to support CMP, because we are not-for-profit and you want to advertise, please reach out to us. Email us at info@cmpng.ca or contact our CMP Digital Lead, Moson, at 647-778-0049. I will be passing it back to Dianye. Next.
Thank you, Lady Alba. Thank you so much for that. Wow, such an amazing long list of sponsors and partners. That means we can grow more because our community is big. There's so much that our community can gain out of this. Thank you so much to all our sponsors and partners. So we are going to start the event for today, International Women's Day, Women Elevating Women. Thank you so much for joining us, our panelists. I will start off by introducing Lady Tony Johnson. Lady Tony Johnson is popularly known as a better career coach. Immigrant professionals consult with her. Immigrant professionals consult with her to secure better careers. She helps immigrant professionals who are new to Canada create better aligned career profiles. Her experience as an information technology consultant with over 16 years leading, managing, and implementing strategic business initiatives has allowed her to build a strong network, which includes hiring managers and recruiters. From this network of experts, she takes career coaching one step further, referring her clients to top recruiters. I normally say that anyone who's been searching knows that looking for a job is a full-time job. So having someone who has access to high managers and recruiters, speaking for you, introducing you, and just speaking about your experience and knowledge, it's a huge gain, and it reduces the waiting time, I would say. So having worked in banking, insurance, government services, and CRM, both within the public and private sector, she has been exposed to a wide range of industries that allows her to serve her clients' best interests. Thank you so much, Lady Tony, for joining us. Mr. Fange, over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Tony. Welcome on board. Welcome to the panel. I'm going to be introducing Shade Ahigbe. We'll be referring her most of the time throughout this discourse as Shade. She was born actually in Sydney, Australia, and found herself in Ibadan, Nigeria, where she grew up. I'm sure people or my people will talk to people like that. What are you doing here? So in 1999, she decided to seek for a better life or better outlook in life and moved with her family to Canada. In 2019, she is a community organizer, and listen to this, those of you who are out there. She organized an event that had over 100 high school students, and they obtained an ILEAD certificate for participation or for participants. So the participants actually received some really high quality certificate. Shade, thank you so much for joining us. We are very happy to have you on the panel.
Thank you.
All right, so the next person that I'll be introducing is Nena Obuma. Nena is a transformational leader, a mentor, a coach, a tech guru. She has pivoted her career for herself in data analytics, data science, and has increasingly taken on leadership positions. To pay forward her knowledge and skills, she has mentored and coached many professionals to successfully pursue a career in the data domain. Nena is the recipient of the top 100 accomplished Black Canadians in 2022. She has been nominated for the 2023 Trailblazer Award by Nigerian Canadian newspaper in Canada. Nena is currently a Global Risk Management Director in Scotiabank Canada, where she oversees analytics team. She has featured in the Guardian and This Day newspapers. Nena's articles have been published by Leeds University, US, and recently in the CIO Look US magazine. She has served on the board of directors for Council of Nigerian Professionals and Green Urban Vitalization Canada. She volunteers in her community in many capacities, such as speaking, coaching, and organizing events. She organized a youth event in 2019, attended by over 100 high school students, and obtained ILEAD certificates for participants. Nena's newest addition is her book series, Lessons to My Younger Self. The book articulates her journey and experiences and pays forward to everyone who would consider to be walking the same path. Being an immigrant woman of color, she has gained influence championing excellence beyond odds. Thank you, Ms. Nena, for coming on this board.
Thank you so much.
The last but not the least person on the panel is Lare Ojelabi. We're going to be referring to her mostly as Ola out of her, that's what she prefers to be referred to. She has so many things that she has accomplished, so I'm not going to list all of them, else we're not going to have time to talk. But just the main one, she's the CEO of and a minister of Faji Incorporated. She's a caseworker at the City of Toronto. She's an event anchor, planner, and comparer. She loves our community. She loves our culture. She is very creative. She holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Science and Agriculture from Nigeria, a diploma in Psychology and Social Works, a BA honors in Sociology from York University. She likes supporting women. She amplifies women's voices through her mentorship, shared experience, and advocacy. She is passionate about women's issue, and as an entertainer, she is always going to put women first. Ola is a mother, the most important of all the achievements she has. She has 3 wonderful kids. Ola, welcome on board. Thank you for being on the panel.
Good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So that's the end of our panel. We are going to go ahead with the discussion. I think we'll just kick in straight away with questions.
Maybe before we start, Lady Folashade, I would like to correct. I think that maybe there are just some corrections to be made on your bio, Lady Folashade.
Yes, the bio that was read wasn't mine, so I'm not really sure what happened there.
Oh,
I do apologize for that.
We're so sorry. Okay, we're correcting that immediately.
The beginning of it was right, but that was in the bio.
Okay.
The bio I sent it to you on the
I
chat.
do apologize. I know what happened. So it's a printing error. It's printed on 2 separate pages. I'm just going to take her bio again, just so we make that correction. What was correct was that she was born in Australia and moved to Canada in 99. And while in Canada, she is basically based in the IT sector and not a minister, as I think I said. So yeah, so she became a senior network engineer and has been recognized in numerous times throughout her accomplishments. She has over 30 years of experience in the IT industry, IT sector, and continues to make an impact in her field. She's also a pastor, but not in the. She's a pastor of the Good Ways International Ministry, which is based in Mississauga. Alongside her other endeavors, she assists in event planning and is also involved in running non-for-profit organizations such as the Black Diamond Award. Shade is also a wife and a mother of 3 grown children. She looks to continue to influence those around her and wants to encourage people to have a vision for their life so they can succeed. We do apologize for that mix-up. I think this reflects Shade.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Lady Folashade, for drawing our attention to it. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. Women elevating women is a topic that we cannot say has been spoken well enough. So no matter how many times the topic is on the table, it has to remain on the table because there's so many challenges that women continue to face professionally, personally, socially, in the environment. So we cannot say, okay, it's enough. We have to continually seek ways that we can have a better understanding of how, as women, we can elevate other women, and how, as a community, we can elevate other women. We know that women are supporters. We know that women are givers. Women are people who are always willing to sacrifice. So we know that once we understand how to elevate other women, everyone around us will definitely also benefit from that knowledge. And that's why, again, Mr. Pranga and I would like to thank our panelists for coming and joining us on this topic. So to start off, I have a question, and that question I will pose it to Lady Folashade. What are some of the things that we can do to support other women professionally?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. And there are many things that we can do to support women professionally, but I'll just speak on a few things. You see, there are many opportunities where women, in this day and time, they can become team or committee leaders. And what I would say is that if any woman is in that position to be a team leader, always ask to mentor other women in that group. And as you do that, offer positivity. It's good to criticize, but make sure that the criticisms are positive. Encourage women to take risks. If you don't try, you won't know whether it's going to work. Encourage women to focus on tasks, stay focused. Women can multitask, but at the same time, Women should always make sure professionally they stay focused. If you're a team leader of other women, and you have women in your groups or women in your team that you're mentoring, always acknowledge improvements. Celebrate whatever progress those women are making and the success they're making in that team. Praise the ideas that other women bring into the team. If you have women of color, celebrate them. Remember that there are differences in ideas and opinions, which will always arise, but let's be conscious of that and make sure that those things don't become stumbling blocks in elevating other women. Address the issues, not the women. Talk it out, keep moving forward. Let's support each other professionally. Women are rising every day in different positions, in different professions also. Build each other up. Build other women up professionally. We don't need to compete with each other. Let's continue to build each other up. So that's what I would say.
Very deep. You know, one of the things that I really liked that you said is when you criticize positively. And that contrast, right? People will think when you criticize someone, it's negative. But when you look at it from criticizing positively, it means that you're criticizing with love. So in your choice of words, when you're criticizing a fellow woman or anybody, you're not thinking about putting them down, or you're thinking about giving them that feedback that will help them be better of themselves. So I really do like that, you know, that you use that contrast in illustrating that point. So is anyone else going to take a dab on that same question? So before maybe I will call in Nena to take a dab on that question. So feel free, everyone, send in your questions, send it in the chat. We would like for our panelists to get the chance to respond to any questions that you may have, or to engage in any discussion that you would like them to do. So Nena, over to you.
Thank you very much. There's always something that I always like to say. You can call it a joke, so take it kind of like a joke, but I like to always say it because I think that God created women to be, you know, very special and specific. You know, I always make a joke and say that when God created them, he called them male and female. And when he decided to separate them, he took the compassionate part of God and gave it to women, and took the consuming fire and gave it to men. So that's the joke. So being that we have the compassionate part, you know, God says I am a compassionate God. And he also says that I'm a consuming fire. So being that he gave us the compassionate part, that's a special skill that God has put in women, that with it, we can really do a lot. And so just to protest on what, you know, Sade has been speaking, you know, use that compassionate part as a woman to kind of let your femininity, you know, be shown in your leadership. Let people see empathy when you lead. Let people feel that you truly care for them. You really trust them. And when you do that, you get back loyalty. Sometimes I know that, perspectives can differ, especially with women, you know. Sometimes there are always very strong opinion, but if we put empathy first, knowing that we disagree to agree, knowing that, you know, there are always going to be those different perspectives, but it's not about the person. So if your focus is like, you know, the woman being the mother, you always find a way to bring everybody together. Because even when you have children, some are completely different from you, but you still put that extra compassion, trying to get everybody to come on the same plate, right? So even at work, when you meet other women, you know, having that at the back of your mind, I think we can really work together. We can really elevate others without necessarily feeling that those people are out there to destroy us. No, they are not. So, and even when you think that, you know, you've you could do, like, maybe there has been so many differences. You can always walk backwards and still, make, mend the ways, because with empathy and love, you will find out that you always be able to, get going somehow. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Very, very insightful words. Mr. Fange.
Yeah, thank you so much. Our next question, or our next topic of discussion will be going to Lady Ojalabi or Ola. And we're going to be talking about mentorship. You are a serial mentorship, you mentor other women. So what are your thoughts on women mentoring or supporting other women? Are there really any benefits, especially when we talk within our African community, when there's sometimes a lot of negativity about women trying to promote other women?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Firstly, I want to celebrate everybody in the house. Happy International Women's Day, we're still on it. I want to celebrate every one of you and the panel. Wow, thank you so much. I actually had to check everybody that I was going to be on the panel with. Shade, I've known her from Nigeria, we've been together. And Ms. Toyin Johnson, a career coach, when I saw all of it, I'm like, Ola, you are in trouble. When I saw Miss Inena, one of the 100 accomplished women, I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. And I know my Miss Abba, I know what she's been up to. I know we're together not too long ago, but thank you. I salute all of you, and I'm very honored to be here. And the entire team of Council of Nigerian Professionals, because I don't know if everybody is watching, I want to salute you. For all those that have joined me here, also, thank you for being part of it. Okay, on what the questions that you asked me, my thoughts on women mentoring women. I want to appreciate everybody that has said one thing or the other. It's all part of mentoring. And mentoring plays a critical role in female advancement in every way, Providing mentor is one of the meaningful ways that we can help a woman to realize, whatever their potentials is. Like we all know, we all came in here as immigrants, and whatever way we came. And when we got here, there was a kind of, culture shock and a lot of other things. And because you came from where you were coming, the expectation was a bit high. We came here and everything went flat. Some people we couldn't navigate, even any resources. We don't know who to direct us. We don't know what to do. And people had to start from scratch. And those are one of the things that women are facing even at this time, because we know that we're different identities. When we come in here, sometimes we're married, we have children, we have, we came from a professional, background, we're businesses, so many things. We have degrees. Sometimes we have to start afresh. And those are the things that are important for mentoring. It allows women to find support and encouragement, in every area, because mentoring is somebody helping you, giving you a helping hand, pulling you up, trying to tell you it is okay, it is okay. And one of the things mentoring also does is showing love. One of my own mentor is Maya Angelou. When you learn to study that woman, you will know that she's so passionate about women. She said, love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. And that's what mentoring is. It takes you from the level of minority. We're visible minority, they call us. I always tell them at work, I say, thank God I'm visible. You can see me. Okay, so it takes us from that level of minority into majority. It takes us from the level of obscurity into a better path. And there are different levels of, mentoring. Mentoring it's a kind of partnership. It's a kind of love that you have to show. You embrace somebody, you embrace their differences. You tell them about, services, about support, you know, you tell them about your own experiences. You have to be very factual when you are talking about mentorship. There's no need falsifying report. There's no need painting the picture. Just tell it as it is so that they can relate to you, so that they can understand where you are coming from and where you are going. And then you make them feel much better. It's impacting their lives so that when they feel they are down, your hand is saying, come, let's rise together. I've gone through this. I've been helped. And I will tell you, I benefit from mentoring. And right now, even in my workplace, God changed the trajectory and narratives of us Black people because we have role models and we have mentorships in every areas. So it is something that I feel that it is very important. It is very important. And together with sponsoring women, its benefits are innumerable. It's innumerable because it elevates us. It's women helping women. It's women lifting women up. It's women guiding women, and it addresses a lot of other issues in our multicultural diversity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want Toyin to jump into this. In the meantime, I'm just going to read some comments. People, if you want to add comments, we have mentoring allows women to find support, take us from one level to another. It's impactful. It allows us to rise together. I mean, those are some of the things that you just said. You talk about partnership, love, service, support, facts, no need for painting. I think that's the one I'm going to tell my kids. When you want to support or mentor others, you don't need to tell any other story, but just the facts and the truth. We don't need to paint anything. And thank you so much for that. Toyin, do you want to add anything on this? I know she said a lot, but please jump in.
Yeah, for sure. I know she has definitely said a lot and she has covered some of the points I actually have noted down. But I just need to put just a little bit of a perspective to this. So I think women mentoring women is a very good idea. One of the benefits of women actually mentoring women compared to women mentoring men is we have very similar perspective around things. So as a woman mentoring another woman, we can definitely relate to some of the challenges that maybe I have faced. And you don't need to start from where I started from. I can share my story. And I like the fact that she actually said, share your story with facts. Sharing my story, where I have come from, the lessons that I've learned that have actually taken me to where I was to cross some of the hurdles that I may have crossed in my journey could definitely help another woman to move from whatever challenges they are facing to where they want to be. However, my own perspective is that we also need men mentoring women, because at the end of the day, we want to expand our sphere of we want to expand the opportunities we have. And by doing that, if I have a woman mentoring me, perfect. But I also want men also mentoring us as well, because there are some tables, whether we like it or not, that women have not yet been represented on. But when we have a man that is represented on that table and is mentoring another woman, that could create an opportunity for women as well to be able to sit on those tables. Also, mentoring another woman could also help us with some self-limiting beliefs that we have as women. As women, we were trained to be very delicate, which is what we are. That's how God created us. But at the end of the day, we also have to use those things that some people may perceive as weaknesses as our strength. Because we're very empathetic, we can read between the lines. We have the power of intuition that could also help other women when we mentor them to be able to get to where they need to be. So that's just a little bit of what I will have to say about that topic.
Oh, that's very impactful. I'm lucky I didn't skip you. I think you brought in some really, really good points. Me being the only man in the panel, I'm also happy to know that I can be part of this mentorship and sponsoring project for women. It's a very
Certainly,
powerful.
you are a stakeholder.
I am a stakeholder, and all the men out there are stakeholders. I don't want to disenfranchise those who are not on screen. We are all stakeholders in this.
Okay. Wow. You know, with this mentorship topic, it's really amazing because mentorship really, it's about support. It's really about support, and being relatable is number one. And I so appreciate it that you both hit the nail on the head, because I've had mentors that because they were relatable, I was able to trust them and open up. So I was able to, delve and take advantage of that opportunity with that mentor. So when your mentor is not relatable, you will not feel, you will sense it. You will not be able to open up. You will not be able to trust them to share your whatever concerns you're having. So women mentoring women and men mentoring women helps to really create a platform where there's better understanding of biases that exist. Because even women, I've had instances where women where women have said they felt biased against because they're more fashionable, right? You see a woman that is fashionable, another woman can assume that that's all she has in her mind, in her brain, is just to look pretty, and she's not ready to work hard. But when there's opportunities for women to mentor each other, those biases, whether they're unconscious or conscious biases, there's an opportunity to demystify those things to create a better understanding. So thank you both for really, hitting that topic hard on. Thank you. So the question I have next is about those activities that happen outside of the office environment. We do have our circles outside of the office. How can we support women in our circle outside of the office? There are lots of challenges in the world. If we think about work-life balance, if we think about mental health, if we think about women's health, there's so many topics. So calling on Polasha Day, what would you say, or what's your thoughts and views on women supporting other women outside of the office environment within our circles?
Thank you once again. The main key 2 words is reach out. Reach out to other people. A lot of women are under stress. Outside the office, there is life happens to everyone, but always reach out. We know that, at least we can say confidently in this part of the world, that women take on more responsibilities even outside of work, from childcare, elder care. Women do a lot. Phone calls, text messages show that you care. Pay attention to women in your circle. Always pay attention. How are they feeling? Find out, how things are going. You may actually seek to expand your understanding of whoever you're reaching out to, their challenges, their struggles, their successes, their triumphs, their needs. Outside your work, where, like, as we said, that it's been said during this conference, we're of immigrants, and there are other immigrant women coming every day. They may not be able to get into the same opportunities that we are in. Encourage other women to build their skills. Link people to other women that may be of great assistance in careers. We have circles of influence that we can use to reach other people. Follow up with them. If you're in a leadership position, as I always say, make conscious effort to see if women in your circle or someone else, tells you, if people need mentorship, make conscious effort. You can use your position to make great impact in the life of fellow women.
Okay, thank you, Falashadi. Miss Nena. And by the way, all of you are going to take a dab on this question, because we all have our circles. So we want to hear from all of you how we can support, women within our circles outside of the office environment. So Lady Nena, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, one principle that I apply for myself is that the truth is, the more you go up, it might actually start becoming more difficult to reach to everyone. I have this word of wisdom, is that you may not necessarily be able to reach to everybody in the world, but you can, in an extent, be able to reach to some. So one of the things I kind of tell myself is that, Nena, you have to be a role model. You have to be able to, be that person, whether those people know you directly or they don't know you directly, but when they hear your name, it brings inspiration, it brings aspiration, it brings strength, it brings, it makes them be like, oh, I can do it, even without talking to me. And that has always been my goal as I press, as I strive, as I thrive, is to, put that name out there, that I'll be able to encourage every young female Black outside there. That's one of the motivations when I wrote, young lessons to my younger self. Like, just think about me. When you hear about me, you'll be like, oh, I can be like her. And I hear a lot of people tell me that, how were you able to get to where you are? I really wish I can be like you. Another thing I do is I make myself accessible. So I kind of make myself to be very open and transparent. I am somebody that, meeting me for the first time, you can actually, walk up to me without, any constraint and be able to talk to me and feel easy talking to me. So I make myself very accessible. I put my shoulders down when I'm with people, just to be able to, even if it's just 1 minute that we meet, let's kind of learn, let's share our thoughts in that 1 minute. So I believe that just being a role model, living my life the very best I can. And then the other thing I'm doing these days is that I try to come out to Black activities, like, Girls Time Out. I try to come out because I found out again that, you have to also mingle for you to really make an impact. You can't make an impact from your bedroom. So I now these days go out for events. So whether it is most Black networking programs, I go out just to, have a feel of the human face and have a feel of the human interaction and rub minds. And in that way, I get people call me back for questions. I get people ask questions. I get people, and in that way, I'm kind of, reaching out and talking to people. To be very sincere, if I have to keep a record of numbers that I have to call to reach out and follow up to people, believe me, I may not be able to do it. So I don't really tell myself things I cannot do, but I make myself very accessible, that when people reach out, I give it in and all.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ms. Nena. So, Lady Tony, over to you.
Thank you. So my own thing about mentoring and helping people outside of the workplaces, and I'm going to build a little bit on what Nena said, is the accessibility part. At the end of the day, if people see whoever they want to approach as somebody that is a little bit closed, somebody that I can't get through to, there's nobody that you're going to mentor, and you're just going to, it's difficult for people to assess you. So making yourself accessible, I think, is very, very important. Making sure that you make people feel comfortable to approach you, because if you're approachable, that is when people can actually reach out to you and ask for help. And I personally believe in helping one person at a time. We may not be able to help everyone, but for that one person that you can make a positive impact on, I like to hold on to that one person, because I believe that one person will go ahead and help the next person. It's almost like a speed. If I help one person, make myself fully available, and it may not be one person, maybe I have capacity for two, maybe I have capacity for three. But by the time I look at myself, look at my schedule, and I'm like, okay, how many people will reach out to me? And how many people will I have the capacity to dedicate myself to helping, to mentoring, and I commit myself to that relationship in whatever capacity they are looking for? Is it somebody that is looking for work? Most of the time, it will be somebody that is looking for work for me personally, or somebody that needs career advice. I look at myself and I come direct to people most of the time. If I have the capacity, I tell you, I have the capacity, I am committed to helping you for this long, and I commit myself to it. I think if women commit themselves to it and nurture the relationship and make sure the goals of those relationships, those mentorship are achieved, we probably would do a whole lot making sure women are elevated. So those are my kind of things. Some of the practical things I also do is just have coffee chat with people. Some people only need one information. If you are that one person that can offer that information, you know what? Offer the information, give them the correct information. Don't give people run around. Give them the correct information. If you don't have that information, why not refer them to Nena? Why not refer them to Folashade? Why not refer them to your colleague at work that you overheard that is looking for so and so information? So for me, it's committing and making sure that we follow through with whatever we have promised, whatever we have committed to, and making sure that that person achieves their goals is a very key thing, not leaving people hanging. Some people will reach out to you on LinkedIn. Make sure you respond to their messages. Even if you don't have time at that time, you don't have the capacity at that time, telling them that, you know what, this is not the right time, or this is the right time, and this is what I'm going to do. And following through is key. If you're ghosting people's information, nobody's going to reach out to you eventually. People will just say, oh God, you know what, whenever you reach out to Tony, she doesn't respond. So who are you going to mentor? Who am I going to open myself to that can that I'm accessible to, and I'm open to mentoring and to helping? So for me, it's helping one person at a time and let that person continue to pay it forward.
Wow, be invested.
Thank you.
Thank
Correct.
you. And Lady Ranway, over to you.
You know, I was hoping they would call me before they call Lady Soyi, because
I saw you stretching your arms.
Okay, what is she going to say now? They've said it all. But thank you so much for all those beautiful responses. As a woman, there is nothing that we have that has not been given to us by God. One of the things they didn't read out in my profile is, above all, I'm a child of God. Simple. And God has taught us so many things, that we should be compassionate. We should be givers. Even as women, we're nurturers, we're givers. Naturally, God has endowed us with a lot of things to be helpful, to help people. So I'm simply going to add to all the amazing things that they have said, that in us elevating people, we should be a team player. We should be practical in our approach. We should not be a team breaker. We should not be a bulldozer. People that would, you know, will break things down. Let's build each other up. Build interpersonal relationships through interactions. Give people their space. It's overwhelming. People might be going through marriage meltdown. We all know what is happening. Talking to people. Sometimes, like we all said, let's be open. Let's be open. Let's listen. There's so many things that I do. I go on Facebook. There's nobody that I won't put like. We're building, even when in TikToks, some of these things I don't even, but just to encourage them. Everybody is struggling through one thing or the other. Let's patronize ourselves. Okay, those are how to support ourselves. Let's patronize small businesses. We know you have money for big companies, but they don't even know you. What are they going to do for you? Patronize a sister, help a brother, even in church, in so many places. You need a lawyer, you need, Mommy Yemisi is there if you want to buy a house. My spouse also, I will promote him. Mommy Esuola, my pastor is there. Yes, patronize them. Don't go out. You have your own people. So building relationship, very, very, very important. Amplifying your voice. Speak up for people. We know that as women, some of us were raised not to be, my parents, when I now talk, my mother would be looking at me like, like what happened to you? Because they don't expect it. Because I now, I'm able to speak in my place of work sometimes. Yes, people are expecting me to say something, especially when all these things are coming down. And I have to speak because some of them can't. And when I ask them, they will say, oh, Ola, but we won't be able to say it the way you would say it or something. It's not that we are gifted. I'm gifted to talk. God just give me the grace to be able to fix it. Let's speak for each other. Let's speak to them. Let's ask questions. Sometimes we see things. We women, we have intuition, we see things. Let's approach somebody. Let's text. Let's compliment. You see nice color, somebody looking beautiful. She has tried to put herself together, despite everything she's going through, despite the ordeal, but she still did a lot. So motivating each other, championing changes, fostering equity and fairness to each other, learning to respect our values, irrespective of what they do. We go for women's, Valentine's. Sometimes I take my friends, some of them are single, I don't want to use single because there's this my mommy and she's on the line and she doesn't like that language. But you know what I mean with children. We go for girls' night. We just go on Valentine. We go to choice places. We drink. We take ourselves out from birthdays. We network. Like, even in churches, like our team, we are planning on going on women's retreat. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Let's give ourselves that room to breathe. Let's embrace everything we do step by step. We are elevating each other. And by doing this, affirmations, positive, send somebody a text. You don't know what they are going through. That affirmations, you see somebody, oh, you are looking pretty. Or sometimes I get to the coffee place and I just buy 1 or 2 people a coffee. It doesn't mean that I have the money, but you are just touching lives. And let's keep doing that to each other. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing insights from all of you. This year, one of the themes for this year's International Women's Day is elevating visibility of women creators. What you've all said, buttresses that point. There are lots of talented women amongst us. Look at the 4 of you standing out. There are lots of others that are on this call out there within our circles. Let's continually elevate visibility for them. So, Mr. Fange.
Yeah, thank you. I think at a certain point, I was more of a listener than the moderator. I was lost in the discussion. My next question will be going to Inena, but before that, let me just say a small story about before I get the question. When I met Lady Abba, who is the one organizing this thing, we had an event where she was introducing this 20 plus volunteers and telling me, oh, this one is my daughter. Oh, this is my son. Oh, you have to do. And at one point I was wondering, is this woman the one who gave birth to every teenager in Canada, every Black teenager here? And when you get to know some of the women that we interact with, we know how much they take responsibility upon themselves, both career-wise, both spiritual-wise, both supporting each other, and both raising the men or the husbands as well. So my question is in relation to this point. And You know, we've heard a lot about women being hard on themselves. What would you tell such women to help them show up differently? You know, sometimes, let me even go back to our villages. You know, some of these women that when they come out, if the occasion has not started and you see them there, you know that the occasion is going to start. It looks like they carry the whole village with them. What would be, Inena, what would be your advice, or what would you say to some of these women?
So one of the things that I would say that I have learned, and that's one of the things that I put in my book, is that, so when you look at the ocean, for example, there are so many fishes that are there. Some get born, they die, but the water still remains, so large that even the next, millions of fishes that are yet to be born, we still have enough space in the ocean to swim. So if we come from the perspective that, the universe is too large, one person can't consume it. There's always a room and a space for another. You can leverage somebody as your stepping stone, but don't ever think that the person is going to take away that, that shine, that opportunity that God has given you. No man can. There are seasons, and you should know that life is a stage. You're on this stage right now playing. The next second, you step out of the stage, you go to scene 2. In scene 2, I may not be there. It might be a different set of people, but that might be where you will become the main actor. While in the other scene, you're just a waka pass. So don't ever feel that somebody else is there to take it away from you. Always know that on your own, you have the full right to be yourself. You have the room and the opportunity to, show forth yourself. So there's no need to, be bitter or feel angry, or, it's not a race. I always tell my children, the person that wins is not the person that came first in a race. It is finishing your own race makes you a winner, not because you're number 1. So when you know that whenever you finish your race, you're a winner, it's not about number 1 or number 2. You will know that all of us are winners on our own rights. So my advice is relax, enjoy the journey. Every little step is a win. Every little step, even if you can't count on anything, just know that you learned something that you're going to, put in the next stage to make you better and more successful. So really, my story is, don't feel anybody can take anything away from you. Just be the confident, the awesome, the amazing woman that God created you to be. And know that you have your own space, you have your own room on this earth. And that you can do, all that God has given you in your own space. If where you are is not where you're supposed to be, your passion, something in you will take you to the next stage where your room exists, and there you will blow. Go with that mindset, and believe me, you will succeed. Somebody can't stop you.
That was a good one. I would like for Lashade to dive into this more because she has over 30 years experience in the IT industry, and we all know that that's an industry where you have a few blacks, and being a black woman in that industry makes her a minority within the minority. I would like you to tell us more, maybe about your experience. How difficult was it? Was it hard on yourselves? Or what do you tell other women who want to get to where you are? So the basically question is, we've heard about women being hard on themselves. So what would you tell such women, or how would you help them to show up differently?
Okay. I have to remember to unmute myself. Okay. Yes. Being a Black woman in IT for over many years, it wasn't easy. Where being Black and being a woman, two things. But I tell people, you know your stuff, so it doesn't matter what it is. When it's time to speak, you speak. You know your stuff, you know what you're doing, you have your confidence, then the sky's the limit. So we talk about being hard on oneself as women. I see it as a form of defense mechanism. You see, the society has an expectation from women to look a certain way, to act a certain way, to have no flaws. And women continue to strive to be that. As a professional, like I said, be comfortable with what you know. That's my advice. There's a psychologist that is known as Laura Brannon that says that because women who have high self-esteem, they may reject compliments because they want to seem modest and self-effacing. Women who have less self-esteem, on the other hand, they reject compliments because this external positivity clashes with their internal view of themselves. So the society has the expectations, but be confident in yourself. Be confident in the way you are. Be comfortable in your skin. Be comfortable with your looks. Be comfortable with your profession. Be comfortable with who you are. You don't have to fit into any man-made closet. In my journey in IT, when we go for seminars and conferences, you can look around and see very few women, and to even see Black women, very few, but I have confidence in myself. I know my stuff. So I go with that confidence. Remember that as a woman, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is only one you. Be proud of you. So look in the mirror, tell yourself, like I tell myself, you're all that and a bag of chips, which means you are someone special. You can do it. With God, all things are possible. Even when things are tough and rough, you have goals. Remember those goals. Don't let self-doubt rob you of where you're going. Don't overthink everything. I have one of my kids, I always tell this child, don't overthink everything. Don't overthink it. Because overthinking many times could lead to derailment. It can actually stop one from taking positive steps. So watch out. Don't let other people limit your potentials, like Nina said. Especially in criticisms and stuff like that. Don't be afraid. If you have to reinvent yourself, go ahead. If it's the enemy that has planted lies so deeply in your mind that you believed, and now your brain feels hijacked by then, I'm sorry that the enemy has robbed you of your joy. Today is a new day. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Remember from now on, Larry said something similar. You are God's masterpiece. Try not to be so hard on yourself. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me start from you saying you are God's masterpiece. I think that's one of the greatest awards you can give to yourself, recognizing you're actually not just any ordinary person. You're actually a masterpiece. We have to be proud of who we are. Be proud of who you are. Very tough and emotional. And do not overthink it. I think that's one of the things that holds a lot of us back. Especially those of us from African descent, we overthink and overthink and overthink. We are wondering, what will my mother say if I do this? What will my father say if I do this? Oh, Uncle Peter is coming tomorrow. What is he going to say? Is my house clean? I think we usually do overthink, and I'm happy you brought out that point that we should not overthink. So let me hand over to the moderator, so we move ahead. I think we've talked much on this question. Thank you so much for the information that you provided.
Please, can I say something quickly?
Go ahead,
Please.
go ahead.
I just wanted to add, I appreciate what everybody has spoken, but I just wanted to add the intersectionality, intersectionality piece to it. I do recognize that sometimes it's our experience that, you know, it's not that purposefully they are hard on themselves, because we all have diverse overlapping identities, markers. We've all gone through so much that sometimes it is so hard. You know, I work with marginalized people. My work is with people that they've given up on themselves. So I always see things using that lens, you know, or a different lens when I'm answering some of these questions. So sometimes help is needed. You've been through it. So have you ever experienced things and it's like everything is just against me? The bankers, they are calling me. My teacher, my children, teachers, they're having problems with them. My bills, you know, everything is just against you. It's like the world is against you. And when you are in a system that continues to feed, you know, on you like a leech, you become so angry. You become so, especially when you are coming from a place where you are doing well, everything is good, and you are expecting more. So let's look at it like there are different lenses. But one thing I want to bring out from that thing is that even with our identities, with what we go through, let us be grateful. We women, we have to be grateful because we do so much. We do so much. We are mothers, we are wives, we are what do you call it? We are cleaners, we do everything. We are breadwinners, we are everything in the house. And sometimes it's like a big stone. We are overwhelmed with so much to do. And that is why we're hard on ourselves. We couldn't see anything good. We're so sad. And remember, depression is also real. Mental health is real. Some of these things in Africa, we call it a different name, whereas here it's a different name. You won't know when a woman, when she's pregnant, she's going into postpartum depression. By the time she has birth, she's going into some other realm. So let us look sometimes intersectionally, using a different lens to try and understand what the situation is. And above all, I would want women going through all these things. You know, it might be oppression, it might be identity, it might be orientation. Let us recognize that there is help. There is help. Every multifaceted of these issues has help. Try and speak up. Let's be each other's keeper, sisters keeper, brothers keeper, and let's continue to move ahead. Thank you.
Wow. Thank
Can
you.
I add something
Yes.
tiny bit to it? Very
Thank
tiny
you.
bit.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so I just wanted to mention that. So the question is, are women hard on themselves? I think sometimes we are hard on ourselves, but sometimes we need to identify areas that we're hard on ourselves. Because I don't think it's possible that women are generally hard on themselves, but maybe there are some specific areas that we find it maybe a little bit more, putting some pressure on ourselves. And for women, we need to identify the reasons why we're putting pressure on ourselves in that area. Is this self-limiting beliefs? Is this something that has been ingrained in our mind from childhood? That maybe those are the kind of things that we need to work on. Is it a knowledge gap? So if I'm at work and I'm being hard on myself on some topics, are those the topics that I really want to go back home and do more knowledge searching and make sure I understand those subjects so that when I come back to the table, I have a voice, I'm able to speak intelligently? Or is it even something that, okay, maybe it has to do with emotions? I know my sister talked about depression, mental health. Are those the kind of things that we need to make conscious effort to actually go and work on in any way, shape, or form that we need to seek professional help from? Because all these things, definitely, there's some things that, okay, we need to snap out of it, but there's some things that we need to go and consciously work on for ourselves, but we cannot do that without self-awareness. We cannot do that without being intentional and be like, okay, what exactly is this thing? How am I being able to lay my hands on it so that I can go and fix those things? If it's mental health, it is real. Maybe we need to go and seek the help of a therapist. Maybe we need to go and speak to a trusted person that will help us navigate those landscapes. Thank you.
There's just so many points that you all have highlighted. So reading some of the comments here, Viv is saying it's women's turn to take care of women take turns to take care of everyone else. So it's their turn to also get support from from other women as well. It's okay to ask for support when it comes to domestic work. That expectation of, it's expected that the woman is taking care of it. So get help, ask for it, ask for that support. Women, somebody else here is saying that you all are that bag of chips. So, so you all are making very insightful comments. So one other point I would like to add is that, when we're hard on ourselves, maybe because things are not going so well, we tend to forget what we have done and accomplished in the past. What I would say is, look at your CV. Look at your CV. You will be reminded of your accomplishments. Look at your certificates. Look at that wall where you have, either an award set up or a certificate on the wall, wherever it is. Look back, because that's what will remind you of your successes. And that's where you can easily get that momentum to keep pushing, because everything, it's time and chance. So it will pass. It may not feel like it will pass at that time, but it will pass. So the next question I have is this very subjective one, and is an understanding, or maybe it's something around where people say in whispers. Some even say it, loudly. People may have not. For me, I would not say I've really experienced it, but it is something that I know that it's something that is being talked about, that women pull other women down. So are there any ideas that you can share that will help us better understand when we're pulling other women down? Or is it something that maybe you've heard from people that you've mentored, or even witnessed it? What are the things that, because we are talking about unconscious bias. There are things that we do without even knowing that we're doing it. So how can we be self-aware, or how can we identify things that we're doing, or give us examples of things or actions that other women do that can be interpreted as pulling other women down? So I would like to call on Tony to take a dab on that.
Okay, and I don't have a lot of experience on this. I can tell you that, but and this is one question that when I saw the email, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have experience. So I had to call my friend, and I'm like, okay, what do you think about this? And I had to borrow from what she shared with me. And what she said was, sometimes women are not intentionally we're not intentionally pulling ourselves down. And she gave me an example. And she said, for example, if you are in a gathering of different people and somebody start talking negatively about somebody, she said, the moment you start contributing to that negativity, you're pulling that person down. So I'm like, wow, that actually called me to action, saying, what kind of contribution do I engage in any setting? When somebody is talking about one person or talking about a business, what kind of contribution am I making to that conversation? Am I making a positive conversation? Meaning I'm elevating that person, I'm elevating that business? Or am I fueling the conversation and steering it in a negative direction? Even if I'm not the one starting the conversation, is that a way of pulling women or even men? At this point, for this particular question, I think is across the board. Am I pulling people down? What are my words saying? for or against that person. When somebody is being recommended for a promotion, for a job, for anything, what kind of contribution am I making to this kind of conversation? So it made me go back and I had to think inwardly. And I'm like, okay, even if I'm not consciously pulling somebody down, what kind of contribution am I making to those kind of conversation? So are women pulling other women down? Maybe I've unconsciously done it. Hopefully, at this point, with my friend's example, has to look inwardly and be like, okay, I have to be more intentional about the kind of conversation I am engaging when other people are talking about others. So is a charge for myself is when people are having conversation about other people or businesses, try and speak positive and true about those things. Make sure that even if you don't have anything good to say, I think it's better to keep quiet and go and address that person on a separate discussion rather than engage in a conversation that will negatively impact other people. So is a charge for me, and I've taken that charge very, very seriously to make sure that when I'm talking about people, I am talking about things that can elevate people, things that can improve people, and not, if I have anything negative to say, I don't think is a conversation for a general audience. I think it's a one-on-one conversation with whoever that person is. If I've done business with you and I have a negative experience, I'd rather have that conversation with you personally before I have that conversation in a public setting. And I guess that's going to be my contribution to this topic.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, I lost my connection earlier. Someone turned off the Wi-Fi. So I'm glad I rejoined at a very important, and I heard a lot of the points that you made. Thank you, Lady Tony. I would like to call on Lady Folashade to add her voice to this subject. I would say maybe 1 minute, because I want us to hear from all of you on this topic. Because you are individuals, you may have also heard or gotten feedback from other people within your circles, and it's important that we all know, and how can we identify, this issue of women pulling other women down. So Folashade, 1 minute, please. Over to you.
I want to look at it from a different perspective. While research shows that women are generally kinder, they're more nurturing and empathetic to others. At the same time, women can be meaner, they can be more dismissive and critical of themselves. So my perspective is when we begin to belittle ourselves, shame ourselves, and negative self-talk that we do about ourselves, then it will be easy to negative self-talk somebody else. So when we put expectation on ourselves and we don't meet them, like too much expectations than we can carry, it's very easy to look at other people and, expect so much. And when they don't meet those expectations, begin to, have a different impression about them. So what I would say is that when we start to learn how to speak to ourselves the right way and look at ourselves and have confidence in ourselves, then we'll try not to speak negative to other people. Yes, there are times that maybe it's not intentional to run down other people, but we're more nurturing and more empathetic, but just try not to run ourselves down. If we don't get it all done, don't beat ourselves up so we don't have too much expectation from other people. And when they don't meet those expectations, then we might begin to run them down. So just be kind. Just learn to be kind.
Okay, thank you, Lady Shadi. What about you, Lady Nena?
Yeah, thank you. So for me, what I think is that women are full of emotions, and emotions can go either ways. Like it can be positive, it can be negative, it can even be sideways, right? So, emotional outbursts come in different ways. So there's always this thing of, if I can do it, why can't you? Because it's all packed in emotions, right? So if I was able to get that whole work done in 30 minutes and even did, more and more, and then I give you the same work and you're there for 2 weeks and you want me to be babysitting you, why should I, right? So that's always, the angle that it comes from. But I think that what we have heard here, starting from the beginning, is that we all have, different baggages that we come with. So that I did it in 30 minutes doesn't necessarily mean that I should expect every other person to do it in 30 minutes. So it's just like, putting that, a little bit of that empathy and kindness, knowing that we have different gifts, we have different capacities, we've gone through different experiences, and all these things affect what we do. So usually when I see these things happen, it's always as per expectations, like Falachide said. It's always like, if one person can do it, there's always that expectation that others should do it. We even have it on our children, not only on women, and it can always come out negative, hard, and depressing to the other person. So instead of encouraging, you are now actually tearing the person down, even talking directly. So in the office, we call it constructive feedback, effective challenge. That means saying it out in a very nice, humane way, rather than, making somebody run down. So I think that for me, it's all we have said. Understand diversity, understand different perspective, and deal with people acknowledging the fact that they may not necessarily be you. So you can do it, does not mean others can. So be kind and, treat them from that perspective.
Oh, thank you, Miss Nena. Lady Larry, in 1 minute, please tell us.
Thank you, everybody. Honestly, we have said a lot, but like we all said, we have different abilities. We have to recognize our shortcomings. Women, yes, we gossip, we backbite, we do a lot of things, but I think it is immature behavior. When you become a woman, and God created, you will learn to bridle your tongues. And like my colleague said, if you don't have any good things to say, don't say anything. We have different abilities. Some, they call it disabilities here. Some people are high tech. They are this, they are high functional. Some people are not. Let us learn to embrace each other differences. You don't have to talk bad about the person. It's just that we are built differently. We are structured differently. God created us differently. And in our learning also, we learn at different paces. Even sometimes to the kids, we say, you are so dumb. No child is dumb. You have to be encouraging. Your word has to be impactful. It has to come out in a way that it will encourage somebody. So I know that this is one of the things we do, but now we can change our behavior for the better. And I want to encourage every woman here, every woman that will listen to this, that we can do better to ourselves. Elevating ourselves, we need to stop pulling each other down and build each other up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stefange, over to you.
Yes. Before I go to the next question, there is one woman that I would like to bring here to have her own opinion. Lady Abba, please, if you can unmute, I would like to hear you on this one. This is a question that I know you are very, very passionate about. Viv Mbakwa has been writing a lot also on the comments. She's talked about competition is an issue to this. Collaboration should be our way forward. So because we are running out of time, I can't go through all these comments, but we do appreciate you. Lady Abba, please, let's hear your thoughts on this one before we move to the next question.
Thank you so very much, Ifwange. And oh my God, we are so blessed to have all you amazing ladies share your insights with us today. I was opportune to be a part of a TEDx today, and one of the speakers actually talked about legendary leaders. And really, in perspective, I kind of think that's what a woman is, because a legendary leader finds a way, makes a way, and leads the way. And we tend to carry so much on our shoulders. And I love I really want to draw your attention to what Vivian Bakwa wrote on, because that's something that really, really, it weighs on my heart. And I feel that most of the things we're probably going through, we kind of cause it ourselves. What she said is gender role is also a very big thing. I feel it's a very big thing. And I kind of feel that we need to do better, because I always say that women, we are mothers of the world. How are we raising our children, whether it is girls or boys? I've seen so many women raise girls differently and boys differently. And then we turn around and say, we're not being treated well. So I really would want us to kind of, touch on that gender role. What should we do? What can we do? How can we change the narrative for our children? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know we don't have much time. I'm going to ask the last question, and I'm just going to go clockwise. Hopefully everybody has a minute to address this. So basically, I know this discussion is about elevating women, but one way we can do this is to ensure that we train and educate our sons, our nephews, the brothers, the husbands to be supportive too. And I'm asking all of you to use me as a brother, the nephew, the husband to pass a message to my male species out there. Please provide your thoughts around this topic on how to educate people like me to be supportive. Let's start with Toyin, then Folashade, Inena, then Lady Ojelabi. 1 minute, please.
Okay, mine won't even be 1 minute. So what I have noted down is making sure we're leading by example. Like for the men around us, it's how you support these children's mothers. That's how these boys will support other women and the wives and the girlfriends and the friends and the colleagues that will come into their lives. Exposing them to men that are supportive of women, exposing them, making sure that they see and encouraging our men, support us women. We are your bones, we're your helpers. God has created us to be a helper, and helper doesn't mean that we're less than you. No, it just means that we're the ones complementing you. So for me is making sure I'm exposing my sons to men that lead by example, making sure the men around me are the men that actually respect other women and are supportive of other women, and they're showing it by what they do. Thank you.
Hello, everyone again. For me, I would say it's my sons, my nephews, my brothers. We should train them to speak kindly and respect women. Respect is a two-way street. Train them, they can say it's a man's world, but we need to train them to speak kindly and respect women, which ties into what Toyin has been saying. Also, get men to realize that they have a part to play in advancing women in the workplace. Challenge gender discrimination. I was in a meeting, it was a Zoom meeting, just a 30-second thing. And it's one of our IT meetings. It was with consulting company. And this guy just kept saying, gents, gents, gents. And because we didn't have our cameras on, the first meeting, I didn't say anything. The next meeting, I said, there's a lady here, we're not all gents. And one of my colleagues after was saying, oh, it didn't matter. I said, can you imagine if you were in a meeting and I was the only woman and there was one woman that kept saying, ladies, ladies, ladies. You're gonna let's recognize and let them know, because I think it was an innocent the guy didn't do it purposely, but at least, you know, train them and let them recognize that, and it will be fine.
Nena.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I do agree with, what Tony and what Falashade has said, that, exposing our sons to men that support women is one of the key things that they can learn, because most children will learn through observation. I do understand where we come from, and we come from a very culture-based orientation from Africa. So sometimes it's so difficult to change those made men, when they come here, because there's already how they believe it should be, and any other thing it might be seen as, can be seen negative. But I think that what we have to hold is making sure that the next generation, at least, is far better than, it's kind of, the next generation kind of have that thing, that supportive way that we are looking for. So looking for ways to make our sons, get them to wash the dishes, get them to cook sometimes, get them to, let them also, mingle with other men that are really cooking in their homes, so that even if it doesn't happen in your own home, let them not feel that that's how it should be, because they might have a bigger problem than you did, right? So expose them. And also, when those things happen in the house, call them, tell them, this is basically African culture, but this is not where we are now. So, don't take it to heart. Make sure that's not the path you're going, because we need to be supportive. We are, of one another. So I think that is very, very important. And I do agree with, what the other panelists have said.
Thank you, everybody. Everything has been so insightful, and I do support that we teach our children. We have been enjoined by God to teach our children the way they should go, and when they grow up, they would not depart from it. As women and as men, because we have a men representation here, we have to teach them where they are role models, where they are mentors, where they are coach, where they are teachers, where they are tutors. Let's socialize them from when they are little to be respectful and to respect women. And let's not segregate, because sometimes we segregate our children, men, this. We have chefs here, people that do the best hair, they are men in this country, and we used to think, oh, women in the kitchen. No, not here. The best chef, when they cook for you. So let us give them the opportunity to be skilled in all areas, so that they are not lacking anything. And also, let them read about wonderful things. When I see things, I send it to my son. My son cooks. He makes his own food. He made me breakfast this morning. So I do not segregate, and I don't encourage. Everybody has to be able to, be beneficials for themselves. As history is having it, we did Black history, and we're now reading what they used to think that women, but now we can see a lot of women occupying leadership positions, occupying politics, which we want people to do. Let our men and our sons be a positive role model also, by normalizing the success, our success, so that the conversation can continue. Let them learn. Let them see you as a good mother, and everything, the company you keep and everything. And trust me, they are going to be better. And I can see a bright future ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for participating. To be honest with you, I think this thing should be reprogrammed for a 24-hour discussion. 2 hours is way, way too small. I think the last question itself, we can go ahead and talk about this. It's been a pleasure having all of you on the panel. Our apologies for the technological issues that we faced at the beginning. Our apologies for the wrong bio that we presented to Lady Ola. No, it's Folashade. We do apologize for that. We hope to make this thing bigger and better next time. With your support, I believe we are going to do it. Dinia.
Thank you, everyone. Wow. Thank you. There's just too many nuggets that you have given. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you for the time. Thank you. So if we go back to our slide, to the slide presentations. Yes, so this is CNP social media handles. Please do follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. We do have our YouTube. All these recordings are going to be posted on YouTube. So you can go back and have a listen of our previous events. You can also contact us. Our email address is info@cnpngo.ca. Let us know if you want to partner with us and sponsor our events. We have lots of open spots there. It's important that people get to know the businesses that exist within the community so that we can continually support ourselves to success. Also, we're looking for continuous growth of our volunteer pool, so please do sign on. Our newsletters are usually distributed. Please send us an email so that we can also have your email in our database so that you can also get a copy of our newsletters. Please go to the next page. Next. So, Lady Abba, I would like to welcome you to say a big thank you, give your thank you notes, and close today's event.
Thank you again, Dianye. Thank you, Efwange. And seriously, a big shout out to all these ladies. Thank you so much, Mrs. Olanrewaju Ojelabi, my darling sister, MC Ofaji. Thank you, Miss Toyi Johnson. Thank you so much for your time today. Mrs. Folashade Aigbe, Pastor Aigbe, thank you so very much. And my sister from another mother, Enna Naoboma. Thank you so very much. We really, really appreciate your time, your passion to uplift and support women, and for sharing all the insights and the nuggets that we can take away today. It has been a journey, and I hope that everyone that came here took one thing or the other away. Today is all about women elevating women. I know that we tend not to meet in person too much, but you can take the names of all the speakers and reach out to them on LinkedIn. I met you on CNP. This is how you, and they can continue to elevate you and mentor you, right? So thank you to everyone that joined. Thank you for your time, and we hope that you will join us for other events that we have. All our social media handles have been shared. So wishing everyone the very best of the evening, and of course, have a fantastic Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. For those who want to continue the discussion, we'll stop the recording.